The galaxy was a place full of wonders and dangers. Millions of starships passed through the bustling trade lanes of the Orion expanse every day. Alien fleets, sleek and deadly, patrolled sectors with cold precision. Humans, in the eyes of most alien civilizations, were secondary, curious but weak. Among the chaos of the Hubworld station, where gleaming vessels of all shapes and sizes docked, there sat a forgotten starship. It was rusting and battered, its paint chipped and faded. Most aliens ignored it. Some even laughed when a human mechanic passed by, scratching their heads at why anyone would touch such junk. But to Alex Wren, a scrappy human with grease under his nails and a mind that never rested, the starship was not junk. It was a challenge. Alex was small compared to the towering aliens around him, but he moved with quick purpose. His fingers were deft and careful, trained over years of working on old machines and broken droids. He looked at the starship, a vessel once meant to explore the far edges of the galaxy, now discarded and left to rot. "Why do they always throw away the best parts?" Alex muttered, examining the hull. He could already imagine what was hiding inside: systems that were forgotten, engines that still had life, and maybe even weapons that had never been used. Most humans would have walked away. Most humans would have been scared of alien patrols, of towering guards with energy rifles, or of the ship itself collapsing under rust. But Alex did not care. He slipped past the barriers, ignoring the warning lights and the alien guards who waved him off with annoyed gestures. To them, he was just another human scavenger. To Alex, the ship was a treasure waiting to be unlocked. Inside, the ship smelled of dust and old metal. Cobwebs hung in the corners. Panels creaked under the weight of time, and wires snaked across the floor like tangled vines. Yet despite its condition, the ship was alive. The hum of dormant systems whispered to Alex, a siren call only someone like him could hear. Alex ran his hands along the walls, feeling the vibrations of old engines. He tapped a console. Sparks jumped from the keyboard and the screen flickered to life. A map of unknown star systems appeared, ancient routes used decades ago. "Not bad," Alex whispered, smiling. "Not bad at all." It was then he found the first surprise. Behind a false panel, he discovered a small compartment that no one had touched in years. Inside were alien devices he had never seen before, compact, black, and humming softly with stored energy. "These aren't just old weapons," he said, examining them closely. "They're advanced. Way beyond anything humans normally get to see." His heart raced. The aliens in the hub had ignored the ship completely. They assumed it was worthless. That arrogance was the key. If no one cared about it, no one would try to stop him from experimenting. Alex spent the next few hours moving cautiously through the ship. He checked the engines, adjusted power conduits, and carefully logged the condition of every system. It was painstaking work, but he loved it. Every human cell in his body seemed to hum with excitement. He was not just repairing a ship. He was learning its secrets. A distant noise pulled him out of his focus. A small alien patrol, bored and wandering, had noticed movement inside the docking yard. They were a minor nuisance, part of the security the hub called first responders. They laughed when they saw Alex fiddling with the ship, pointing at him and mimicking human gestures. Alex ignored them. If they wanted a show, he would give them one, but on his own terms. He returned to the secret compartment. He carefully unpacked the alien devices and began to connect them to the ship systems. His hands moved quickly, weaving circuits together, adjusting voltage and running tests. The hum of the devices grew louder, and Alex felt it resonate through his chest. "This is going to be fun," he said. Hours passed. The patrol eventually wandered away, laughing and confident that the human could never activate anything of real importance. To them, he was just a mechanic playing with a toy. But Alex was not playing. He was thinking. He was planning. Humans, as a species, had a history of turning the weakest or smallest advantage into something powerful. It was in their nature to tinker, to improvise, to turn trash into treasure. By nightfall, Alex had connected the alien devices to the ship's main systems. Screens flickered, lights blinked, and the ship's engines gave a low, satisfied growl. Alex leaned back, sweat on his brow, and smiled. "Not perfect yet," he said, rubbing his hands together, "but this old beauty is waking up." Then came the discovery that changed everything. In a hidden chamber deep in the ship, Alex found something the aliens had clearly never dared to use. A prototype weapons system, locked down and offline for decades. Its design was unlike anything he had seen before, adaptive, smart, and capable of modifying itself based on enemy defenses. "This is insane," Alex whispered, almost afraid to touch it. "No wonder they left it here. They didn't understand it." He studied the controls, tracing wires, pressing buttons carefully. Sparks flew. Screens flashed alien glyphs, confusing at first, but his mind adjusted. Humans had a talent for patterns, for improvising. Slowly, Alex began to understand how the weapon worked, how it could change its strategy on the fly. "This is more than a weapon," he said, voice trembling. "It's alive, almost." He stepped back, imagining the possibilities. A ship like this, piloted by a human, could challenge entire fleets. But first, he needed to master it. And for that, he would have to remain unseen. Outside, the alien fleets continued their routines, unaware of the miracle hiding in the shadows of the hub world. To them, the ship was worthless. To Alex, it was the beginning of something incredible. As he sat in the cockpit, studying the controls, he realized that no alien would ever expect what a human could do with curiosity, courage, and ingenuity. He grinned. "They're going to regret ignoring us," he said softly. "All of them." The stars outside the docking bay stretched into infinity, endless possibilities waiting for someone bold enough to take them. And Alex Wren was ready. In that forgotten ship, a human mechanic had found more than parts and circuits. He had found power, potential, and the promise of proving the galaxy wrong about his species. The journey was just beginning. And the galaxy had no idea what was coming. The docking bay was quiet, but Alex Wren's mind raced faster than any Starship engine. The rusted hull of the old vessel now thrummed with energy. Alien devices he had scavenged, combined with human engineering, hummed as if the ship itself was awakening. Alex wiped his greasy hands on a rag and studied the cockpit screens. Symbols blinked and shifted, displaying alien codes he barely understood. But humans had an advantage: intuition. While alien civilizations relied on rigid calculations, Alex could see patterns, sense possibilities, and improvise solutions. He leaned forward and began rewiring the weapon system. Carefully, he connected energy conduits, making sure voltage flows were stable. Sparks jumped occasionally, but Alex remained calm. "Come on, old girl," he muttered. "Let's see what you can really do." The ship vibrated gently beneath him. He could feel the hum of dormant power, a heartbeat that had been asleep for decades. Outside, the alien hub remained oblivious. The patrols continued their rounds, laughing at the occasional human scurrying about. No one suspected that a single human could turn this forgotten relic into a force to be reckoned with. Hours passed. Alex worked tirelessly, his mind moving faster than his hands could. He combined alien tech with human improvisation, a jury-rigged targeting system, adaptive shields from a mix of old power cores, and energy amplifiers scavenged from decommissioned drones. The first test came at night. Using a small internal power loop, Alex activated the engines. The ship shuddered, then glided smoothly, faster than he expected. The old hull, patched and repaired with human ingenuity, held together. "It's alive," he whispered, "and it likes me." He tested the stealth systems next. Panels that had once been used for cargo now hid sections of the ship in near invisibility. Sensors flickered and adjusted automatically. Alex realized that the aliens who had built this ship never finished calibrating its adaptive systems. To him, this was an advantage, not a flaw. By the next day, minor alien patrols began noticing something unusual. One small reconnaissance vessel hovered near the docking bay, its sensors sweeping across the area. Alex remained calm, blending the ship with the shadows of the hangar. He even rigged a few decoy energy signatures, making it seem as if the ship was inactive. The patrol scanned, frowned, and then left. They assumed it was a glitch or an old, decommissioned ship. They did not know that a human mind had already started bending this ship's potential. Inside, Alex connected the final system, the weapon interface. It hummed and blinked, waiting for commands. He studied the alien glyphs, then began pressing buttons, twisting dials, and running simulations in his mind. The weapon was adaptive, able to change its attack based on enemy strategy. "This is insane," he murmured. "They never understood it, but I will." The first activation test was small, a controlled energy discharge within the hangar. Sparks flew, lights flickered, and a small crate disintegrated in a flash of power. Alex grinned. "Not bad for a first try," he said, "but we're going to need more." Over the next few days, Alex refined the systems. He upgraded the engines to reach speeds beyond normal alien sensors, enhanced the weapons to adjust their trajectory in real time, and modified the shields to reconfigure instantly depending on energy attacks. Each modification was risky, but humans thrived on risk. By midweek, the patrols were starting to whisper about the haunted ship in the back lot. Something moved, something fast, something unpredictable. Aliens began speculating, but none dared approach it. Alex chuckled every time he heard their rumors. They thought unpredictability was a flaw. He knew it was the greatest strength a human could have. Late one night, a minor patrol of 3 alien fighters approached the hangar. This time they were closer, scanning carefully. Alex sat in the cockpit adjusting the stealth field. Lights dimmed and the ship blended almost completely into the shadows. The aliens scanned, their sensors passing over the vessel multiple times. Nothing. Alex's grin widened. Humans had a talent for thinking outside the box, for using creativity where logic failed. But he wanted to test more than stealth. He wanted to test combat readiness. Alex activated a small external drone, a scavenged probe, and rigged it to fire a miniature energy pulse at the patrol. The pulse was precise, non-lethal, just enough to confuse sensors. The patrol faltered. Systems flickered, readings went haywire. The aliens called in backup, but the probe vanished before they could track it. Alex laughed quietly. "They're learning the hard way," he muttered. "Humans don't fight like you expect." Days turned into nights as Alex worked relentlessly. He learned the quirks of the alien weapon system. It could anticipate attacks, analyze energy flows, and adapt in real time. Yet, it had one flaw: it needed a human mind to guide it. Alien creators never finished the interface, assuming their rigid AI could handle everything. Alex, a human, could see possibilities they never imagined. Then came the true test. A larger alien patrol, a squadron of 6 fast attack ships, entered the sector, scanning for unusual activity. Alex had no intention of hiding this time. He piloted the ship out of the hangar, blending speed and stealth. The patrol detected him and opened fire. Lasers cut through the blackness, but Alex had anticipated every move. He dodged with sharp human intuition, weaving in patterns that no alien AI could predict. The ship's adaptive weapons responded instantly, firing pulses that jammed the enemy targeting systems. Shields flexed and reconfigured, absorbing minor hits without losing efficiency. Within minutes, the patrol was disoriented. They had never encountered a ship that moved with such unpredictable precision. Alex smirked. Humans were underestimated. Humans were ignored. And now they were starting to win. By the time the patrol retreated to report what they had seen, Alex had already disappeared into the far reaches of the docking bay, hidden once more. He floated in zero gravity, letting the thrill of victory sink in. "They won't forget this," he whispered. "And they will never underestimate humans again." Over the next few days, rumors began to spread among the aliens. A strange, powerful ship had been spotted in the Orion expanse, moving alone, faster than any patrol could predict, and vanishing without a trace. The story reached minor fleets and then fleets of larger patrols. Meanwhile, Alex continued his work. The ship was no longer just a relic. It was a weapon, a vessel of human ingenuity, and a symbol of what humans could achieve when ignored and underestimated. He spent hours upgrading systems, designing tactical maneuvers, and imagining battle scenarios. He tested adaptive shields, reprogrammed targeting systems, and even added decoy modules that could mimic multiple ships at once. Every modification brought him closer to something greater, a ship that could take on entire fleets, a ship that could prove to the galaxy that humans were more than they seemed. By the end of Part 2, Alex had accomplished something remarkable. He had taken a forgotten starship, mocked by alien civilizations, and turned it into a stealthy, adaptive, and powerful vessel capable of outmaneuvering even elite patrols. The galaxy still ignored him, but that ignorance would soon become a dangerous mistake. For Alex Wren, the journey had just begun. The forgotten relic had become a symbol of human ingenuity, courage, and daring. And soon, every alien who had laughed at humans would learn that curiosity and creativity were stronger than arrogance and advanced tech. And the galaxy had no idea what was about to happen next. The stars stretched endlessly before Alex Wren as the ship glided silently through the outer rim of the Orion expanse. He had become more than just a mechanic. He was a strategist, a pilot, and now the captain of a vessel that no alien could predict. The galaxy still thought humans were weak. They still assumed a single human could never challenge their fleets. That arrogance would be their mistake. Alex sat in the cockpit, eyes scanning multiple displays at once. The ship hummed like a living creature, responding to his commands as if it understood him. He had tested every system, refined every weapon, and mastered the stealth capabilities that allowed him to move undetected. The only limit now was his imagination. A message pinged on the internal communication system. It was from a small human trading station, desperate for protection against a local pirate fleet. Alex hesitated. He had no obligation, but humans had a history of helping one another, even at great risk. "This is it," he muttered, fingers flying over the controls. "Time to see what we can really do." He plotted a course to the pirate sector. As he approached, he could see the alien ships, fast, deadly, but predictable. They were confident, having never seen a human ship capable of real resistance. They underestimated him, and that would cost them. Alex activated the adaptive targeting system. Weapons hummed, shields shimmered, and engines flexed as the ship prepared for engagement. The first encounter began. The pirates opened fire, lasers cutting through space. Alex's ship moved in ways their calculations could not predict, weaving unpredictably, vanishing and reappearing in different positions. Each pulse from his adaptive weapons jammed their targeting systems, causing confusion. Minutes later, the pirate ships were scattered, damaged, and retreating. Not a single human life was lost. The human station remained safe, and Alex had proven a vital point. Humans were not defenseless. Word spread quickly. Aliens who had dismissed humans began whispering about a single vessel capable of evading fleets and defeating powerful opponents. Some laughed, assuming it was a fluke. Others were afraid. Alex, however, was not finished. He had tasted the thrill of victory, and he understood something fundamental. Humans thrived on challenge. The harder the enemy, the sharper their mind became. He returned to his ship's hidden docking bay for upgrades. Using scavenged alien tech, he improved his weapons further. Lasers could now change frequency mid-flight, bypassing enemy shields. Engines were recalibrated for sudden bursts of speed and extreme maneuvers. Shields could adapt instantaneously to multiple attack vectors. By the time he returned to patrol space, he was no longer just a threat. He was a one-man fleet. The next encounter was larger. A squadron of elite alien warships had been sent to investigate reports of a ghost ship. They moved with confidence, expecting an easy target. Alex grinned. Let's see how smart they really are. He activated the stealth mode and approached undetected. The alien sensors picked up faint readings, but the signals were designed to confuse, to mislead. Within seconds, the alien squadron was unsure of his location. Then Alex struck. Adaptive weapons fired precise energy pulses, disabling key systems on multiple ships. The squadron tried to regroup, but the human ship moved unpredictably, striking where it was least expected. Shields flexed, weapons recalculated, and engines responded with near-perfect timing. Within half an hour, the entire squadron was scattered, retreating in disarray. Reports back to their commanders described a vessel too fast, too clever, too impossible. Alex smiled. Impossible only until humans make it possible. He spent the next few days patrolling nearby sectors. Small fleets attempted to engage him, but none could anticipate his tactics. Each victory built his reputation. Aliens who once ignored humans were now wary, unsure of what a single mechanic and his ship could accomplish. The first major turning point came when Alex intercepted a supply convoy. The convoy was guarded by a mid-sized alien fleet, confident in their strength. Alex studied their formation carefully. Unlike alien commanders, he could think unpredictably, exploiting gaps and weaknesses they assumed did not exist. He executed a daring maneuver. Using a combination of stealth, speed, and adaptive weapon fire, he disabled the fleet's communications first. Then, systematically, he targeted engines, leaving ships crippled but intact, no unnecessary destruction. The supply convoy was saved. The aliens were humiliated. Reports of the encounter reached the Central Council of multiple alien civilizations. For the first time, humans were taken seriously. Yet Alex did not slow down. He knew that being reactive was not enough. To be truly feared, he needed to strike decisively, to demonstrate that humans could challenge not just small fleets, but the very structure of galactic power. He set his sights on a critical alien hub, a station controlling patrol routes and resource flows. It was heavily guarded and considered untouchable, but Alex had a plan. Using stealth and adaptive weapons, he infiltrated the outer defenses. Sensors and patrols failed to detect him. The ship's AI, enhanced by his human intuition, predicted enemy movements and calculated optimal attack sequences. Alex executed them perfectly. When he struck, the hub's defenses were overwhelmed before the aliens could respond. Key systems were disabled, forcing the station to shut down temporarily. Communication relays went dark. Panic spread. The aliens realized that the human ship was no ordinary vessel. It was adaptive, fast, and led by a human mind unafraid of risk. Alex, sitting in the cockpit, allowed himself a rare smile. The galaxy was finally learning what humans were capable of. He had taken a ship they considered junk and transformed it into the ultimate weapon, not through sheer size or firepower, but through intelligence, creativity, and courage. As he withdrew to safe distance, he reflected on the journey. The ship had been ignored, laughed at, and dismissed. Yet in the hands of a human, it had become something more than any alien could imagine. And this was only the beginning. Reports of the attacks reached councils across the galaxy. Aliens who had once ridiculed humans now debated strategies to deal with the ghost ship. Some proposed alliances to hunt it down. Others considered surrender or negotiation, but Alex did not care. He had one goal: to show the galaxy that humans, underestimated and ignored, could achieve greatness through innovation, courage, and determination. The final test was still ahead. He would need to face multiple fleets simultaneously, prove the ship's full potential, and cement humans' place in galactic history. But for now, Alex allowed himself a moment of triumph. The galaxy had ignored him. It had mocked him. But the human mechanic in the forgotten ship had become a legend in the making. The stars waited, vast and infinite, and Alex Wren and his ultimate weapon were ready. The alien fleets would soon learn a lesson they could never forget. Never underestimate humanity. The galaxy had begun to notice. Reports of a single human ship, moving faster than alien fleets could anticipate, striking with precision and vanishing without a trace, spread like wildfire. What had started as whispers became debates in councils, then urgent emergency meetings. Aliens who had once ignored humans now feared them. Alex Wren sat in the cockpit of his ship, the vessel he had rebuilt from forgotten scrap into the ultimate weapon. He had no fleet, no massive armies, just him, his human mind, and a machine that responded to his ingenuity. Yet he held more power than any alien admiral could imagine. His sensors picked up movements near the outer sectors. 3 elite alien fleets were converging, sent to neutralize him once and for all. They were confident, arrogant, sure that a human could not possibly challenge them. Alex smiled. "They think they can contain a human mind," he muttered. "Let's see how that works out." He activated the ship's adaptive systems fully. Shields shimmered with energy, engines prepared for sudden bursts, and weapons hummed with anticipation. The ship had learned from every encounter, every tactic, every enemy miscalculation. And Alex had learned as well. The first fleet approached, opening fire with lasers and missiles. Alex did not panic. Instead, he relied on something aliens had never understood: human unpredictability. The ship weaved and dodged, moving in ways that no algorithm could predict. Lasers missed, missiles were neutralized by countermeasures he had improvised from scavenged tech. Then came the counterattack. The ship's adaptive weapons fired, jamming the enemy's targeting systems and disabling key engines on multiple ships. The fleet faltered, unable to regroup. Within minutes, it was scattered and retreating, its pride shattered. Alex didn't slow down. He knew more fleets were coming. He plotted a course to intercept the second group. Using stealth and decoys, he created confusion, making it seem as though multiple ships were attacking simultaneously. Alien fleets misread the battlefield, firing at illusions while the real threat struck where it was least expected. The second fleet fell even faster than the first. Aliens began to fear him, calling him the ghost of humanity in hushed tones. They could not understand how a single mechanic in a forgotten ship could outmaneuver and outthink their best commanders. By the time the third fleet arrived, Alex had a plan that relied on everything he had learned from previous encounters. He studied their formation, anticipating their moves, predicting where they would focus their fire and where their weaknesses lay. Then he struck. The ship moved like a phantom, appearing and disappearing at impossible angles. Adaptive weapons fired with perfect timing, disabling shields, engines, and communications. The fleet was paralyzed, confused, and unable to act. Alex had not just defeated them, he had shown them that humans were not to be underestimated. After the battle, he pulled back to safe distance. The alien fleets were retreating, their leaders humiliated and unsure of what to do next. Reports of the encounters reached the central councils, and for the first time humans were taken seriously. They were no longer weak, no longer secondary, they were a force to be reckoned with. Alex reflected on what had happened. This was not about destruction. This was about proving a point. Humans, when ignored and underestimated, could rise above expectations. They could innovate, improvise, and overcome even the most advanced technology. As he set course for a human-friendly sector, he received messages from distant colonies. Some were fearful, some amazed, all respectful. Humans had always survived by thinking creatively, by working together, and by daring to face impossible odds. Now, the galaxy was beginning to see that same strength. At a hidden human outpost, children watched the stars, listening to stories of a mechanic who had changed the balance of power. They saw not just a ship, but a symbol of human ingenuity, courage, and determination. Alex Wren was no longer just a man, he was a legend. The alien councils debated. Some wanted to hunt him relentlessly. Others considered alliances with humans, realizing that ignoring or attacking them was now dangerous. The galaxy had learned a lesson the hard way: never underestimate humanity. Alex returned to his ship's hidden docking bay, not to rest, but to plan. There were still threats, still challenges, but he had proven the core truth. Humans could turn even forgotten relics into ultimate weapons. He had done it not through sheer force, but through intelligence, creativity, and courage, the true hallmarks of humanity. In the quiet of the bay, Alex smiled. The ship had served him well, but it had also taught him something deeper. The galaxy feared humans not because of numbers or size, but because of what humans could do when they refused to be ignored. He looked out into the stars, imagining the future. Young humans, watching from distant colonies, learning from his example. Alien civilizations, slowly realizing that humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and unstoppable when challenged. "They'll remember this," Alex said softly, "and they'll respect it. One day all of them will know that humans are not just survivors. Humans are unstoppable." As the stars stretched into infinity, Alex set course for new sectors, new challenges, and new opportunities. The ship, once forgotten and ignored, now carried the legacy of humanity across the galaxy. The galaxy had underestimated humans for too long. Now, it would never forget. And somewhere in the dark reaches of space, alien engineers watched, inspired and terrified, as a single human mechanic had turned a rusted starship into the ultimate weapon, a symbol that humanity could not be ignored, contained, or defeated. The story of Alex Wren and his ship would spread for generations, a tale of courage, ingenuity, and the indomitable spirit of a species that refused to bow to expectations. For humans, the galaxy was no longer a place of limits, it was a place of possibilities. And for those who doubted them, the warning was clear: never underestimate what humans can achieve. The stars shone brightly, and Alex knew this was only the beginning. Humanity's journey had reached a turning point, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The ultimate weapon was no longer just the ship, it was the human mind itself.